I'll try to wake everybody up. Good morning. God is on the move. God is on the move through Stephen Ministry, and the preacher has asked me to share about that, and I'm happy to do that. Back in 2014, and I can see the panic now in the preacher. Okay, that's 5 years, 5 minutes, 5 years. Hurry up. My sister-in-law, Vicki, introduced me to Stephen Ministry, and I became quite interested. She gave me a resource book to read, and it seemed like a very good program. I began to think, this is something Jersey should be exposed to. We were starting to have some guest speakers on different Wednesday nights, and I thought, maybe I'll ask Vicki and her group from Huntersville First Baptist to come and share about Stephen Ministry. And so she did, and a lot of people got interested. And I didn't know the deacons had actually already been talking about that. I think they'd sent a group to a workshop to get some material, so they were also interested about it. But when it came up, there were a lot of people interested, but nobody really wanted to do the week-long trip away. So fast forward to Reverend Matt Rigsby. He came to Jersey, and he was also interested in Stephen Ministry, and he wasn't playing. So the deacons and finance had actually already approved this trip, so Matt approached me and asked me if I would consider going. He and to St. Louis is where we were going. He and Lauren were already considering going, or I think they'd already planned on going. Becky had been asked, and I think she had said she was going. And they were all committed, but guess who wasn't? The one who had pushed for it for all these years, since 2014. I got, and I started making all these excuses. And a week away from my family, a whole week away, they would miss me so much. And I tried everything. And he came back to me several times. And the third time he came to me, he said, I want to know by tonight. I said, oh, this is serious. So I went home and I did what I should have been doing all along. I started praying about it. And George had been teaching this lesson in his Sunday school class on struggles. And he had been saying what a good book it was. I thought, well, I need something, and I am struggling. So I picked it up, and it's the book is by Craig Groeschel. If you ever had a chance to read it, it really is a good book. And it's actually about social media. But I turned to the chapter on resurrecting compassion. As I read it and shed a few tears, there was no doubt I was going to St. Louis. The point of this chapter was social media seems to make, and this is a study that was done, I'm not saying this from Andie, make young people care less about people, perhaps become more narcissistic, all the selfies and all that stuff, and more full of themselves. And in social media, you can do that and you can comment, but you don't have to interact directly. So I guess Craig Groeschel was kind of bashing social media in a sense, and we all know it's got its good, okay? I'm not completely bashed it, but it's not got hands-on. And what kept coming out through this chapter that I was reading, true compassion demands action. True compassion demands action. And boy, that hit me. And then I read another sentence that said, if you say you care and you don't act on that feeling, it's the same as not caring at all. I said, okay, God, I hear you. I'm going to St. Louis. Of course, Jesus is our example. He was there. He showed compassion every single time to the lepers, to the blind, to the woman at the well, and we can go on. I realized I was being selfish with my time, thinking I was too busy and too important and had too much to do to go away for a week. When you get outside of yourself, God changes lives. But sometimes the life He changes most is yours. Seeing others in need should move us from deep within. And when we feel that compassion in the name of Jesus, we should act. Because true compassion demands action. So I ran to the preacher and I told him I'd be happy to go to St. Louis. And it was a great decision. The conference was very uplifting. We have wonderful Stephen ministers, 12-ish, and they have trained and they are ready to be a part of this. Many have already been involved in a care-receiver relationship. It's been very successful. When I hear about them talk in our short sessions and our continuing ed sessions, it makes me smile to see the successes that they have. But you don't have to be in this type of relationship to reach someone or minister to someone who is hurting. Because of the training I had through Stephen Ministry, I am much more confident. When I talk to people, I use the material that I learned at these sessions. And I'm not technically their Stephen minister, but I hope I'm impacting their life in some way with the things that I'm saying. So again, I encourage you, I encourage the people in the community, if you know of someone who's discouraged, depressed, overwhelmed, having someone to talk to really does help. All of our Stephen ministers are wonderful, and they're dedicated to this ministry. And we are there. Take advantage of this ministry. We want to help. We want to serve. That is what we have been called to do. Thank you.